24-6 is the final here in Week 12 between the Detroit Lions and the Indianapolis Colts. Detroit win streak, and they got it today on the road. Detroit still perfect in opponents' stadiums. Alongside the Super Bowl champ Lomas Brown, I'm Danny Rogers. Detroit defense only gave up 2 field goals from the Colts all game long. They happened in the first half, and they couldn't muster up any points after that. What did you see from the defense all day long, Lomas?
Man, Danny, our defense, I'll tell you what, they've been playing on another level, especially these last 3 or 4 weeks. I would actually dare to say the defense has been carrying the offense. So it's been great to see these guys get turnovers when they have to, and they get timely stops. They don't let teams get in the red zone. And I think that's been the biggest difference from our defense compared to years before. Teams can't get in the end zone. They're only putting up 3 points against us. And conversely, we're putting up 7 points. So it's a great combination going right now. All we got to do is keep it going, Danny.
First game all season long, no takeaway for these Detroit Lions defense. You have the leader in INTs and Kirby Joseph in the secondary. They couldn't muster up any INTs or takeaways. They had no sacks, but they did have over 100 rushing yards. They have done that in every single game so far this season. They also got at least 1 rushing touchdown, actually 3 today. They've done that in all games prior to this one. Jared Goff goes 26 of 36 on the day, 269 yards, and these Detroit Lions dominated time of possession by almost a full quarter on these Colts. What sticks out to you, Lomas?
I think the way that we run, Danny, we established the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively. I think we really control that. And so when you control the line of scrimmage, guess what? You're able to run the ball, control the clock. When you control it defensively, guess what? You're able to get their offense off the field, 3 downs and out, and they're off there. And you're giving your offense more opportunities to say, get the ball in the end zone. So it's been great. It's been working great, Danny. And we've been each unit has been kind of feeding off each other. And that's what we need at this point of the year.
Yeah, pretty complete day from all 3 phases here. But the head coach, Dan Campbell, is standing by at the podium. Let's hear from Dan Campbell.
Yo, the lies told that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, canvas open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose when I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision that pay me, it's never this way. We indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
That's a good job. That got us to 10. That's 10. That's 9 in a row. How many of you guys have won 9 in a row in here in the NFL? Raise your hand. Yeah, just saying something. It's rare. All right, we're in rare air right now. All right, so we're doing something special, which we knew we would. There are little things to clean up. All right, but the most important thing is we found a way to get that W. I want to highlight just a couple of guys here. All right, the first one, man, defense, 8 total tackles. 7 of those were solos. Rodrigo, you played your ass off. Come on.
Appreciate you guys. Let's keep it rolling, and love all y'all.
Good. Hey, we talked about field position was going to be big. Defense, that's a way to just keep them backed up, keep them pinned. So Lamb, 4 punts, 192 yards, 48-yard average, all inside the 20. Jack Fox.
Love you guys.
When you played on another team, right, or you've coached on another team, it's just always special to come back and get the dub, man. It means a lot. So we're fortunate to have this guy. He's a huge asset. Assistant head coach, running back coach, Scotty Montgomery. Woo! Yeah. Favorite team of all time, man. Love you guys. Love you guys. I read something this morning, and it was talking about a road, man, being on the road. And it brought me back. Where's golf at? Saint, Soul, Frank, Beck. Oh, it brought me back to we were 2-6 in 2022. We had just beaten Green Bay at home. We had not won a road game in 2 years, AG, Ben, right? We had not run a road game in like 2 years. So what are you going to do? You know, now the thing is about road games. We were 0-11-1. 0-11-1 on the road, 21, half of 22. And then we went to Chicago and got it. We got our first dub, and since then we're 16-5 on the road, man. And every one of you are a part of that.
Yeah.
Every one of you are a part of that. That's big, man. 16-5 on the road, all right? So we're road warriors. We're also damn good at home. Good win, man. That's number 10. All right, let's go.
That's 10, baby. Win on 3, 1, 2, 3. Win.
1, 2, 3, win. That is a Detroit Lion win. Welcome one, welcome all to the Lion Villain Report. I am your host, Russell Wayne, on this Victory Monday right here, brought to you by Full Circle Real Estate Group right there in Holly, Michigan. You can get a hold of Dana Robinson at 810-422-3328, and then she can help you with all your real estate needs. You trying to buy a house? Are you trying to buy a house out there? Then she is the one for you. But we don't have to buy a house in Indianapolis because we just walked right up into their house. We put our foot up on their couch and we did whatever we wanted to do. And the Lion fans like me and my fantasy football crew went to Indianapolis and we watched this slow, methodical, when you look at the final score, 24-6 beatdown of the Indianapolis Colts right there. But before we get into all that, we're broadcasting live into the Villain Squad Facebook page right here. We are fastly approaching 60,000 villains. And why have billions when we can have thousands? Yes, because we are the UDFA of sports podcasting. We are the Tom Kennedy, baby. That's what we do. The Lion Villain Report, the Main Event Football Show with Main Event Mike. We just do it. We're hustlers. We're the UDFA. Ain't nobody helping us out there unless you are Full Circle Real Estate Group. That is one of the people that support the little guy. Like us. We're out here grinding. We embody this city. I want to bring on my co-host for the Monday show right here. It's the Emmy-nominated Main Event Mike.
Good morning, Russ. Good morning, villains. It's Victory Monday.
It is. This is Victory Monday. And I have something I wanted to show to you. I don't know what you think about something like this. Let me change this background right here before we get into it. And I want to show you something I made today. I found out that I could do this. It's so I'm so dumb when it comes with stuff like this. But I can put like overlays over. Now it's not perfect. It's not
like it.
That it looks okay, but this is something I'm playing with. It's going to be done by the end of the week. But right now, does that look okay?
Looks kind of cool. I mean,
you'd have to move over a little bit right
Montgomery
there.
now. I'm
That's
following
all right.
up.
I can be behind. You be behind Montgomery, and I'll be behind Gibbs. You see?
Yeah.
Right there.
Hi, I'm David Montgomery.
Yeah, I
I'm
like
an Eagle
that.
Scout.
Yeah, that's right. Man, Mike, you just look like a guy that was dominating the line of scrimmage right there. So if it's not David Montgomery, it's Jahmyr Gibbs. And if it's not Jahmyr Gibbs, it's David Montgomery, Mike. Tell him about it.
Good God. David Montgomery is quickly becoming one of my all-time favorite Lions. With the way this guy runs, he just will not be denied. It takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys to bring him down every time he has the ball. He was huge in the pass game yesterday. I mean, Gibbs dominated the stat line a little bit, but it was Montgomery's runs and catches that were really converting third downs, that were really moving the chains and getting it done. Montgomery did get hurt in the game, and he actually dressed down, went back to the locker room for a bit, but did come back out dressed. And I think he got back on the field maybe one more time. But something happened with David Montgomery in the injury space, and hopefully we'll find out more about that this week. Right now, they're not saying anything, but we did have a tail of the tape. Lions win 24-6. This is your box score, brought to you by Full Circle Realty, and it is the Lions 24, the Indianapolis Colts 6. Jared Goff. You know, I sent you a text for us at the end of the game, said we can't hear you, Russ. And then wasn't even 2 minutes later, we could hear the whole crowd chanting Jared Goff in the background. So I'm going to give you full credit for that. Goff, 26 of 36 for 269. He had 0 TDs, 0 interceptions, and a passer rating of 93.4, a below 100 passer rating for Jared Goff. One of the few times this year he's been below 100 in his passer rating, but super efficient. There were a lot of balls that were wobbling coming out of his hands. His receivers did a great job of converting, including Amon-Ra St. Brown, who had 6 catches on 6 targets for 62 yards. Jamison Williams showing up in the box score big again. 5 catches, 64 yards. 269 yards sounds maybe kind of good, but it was really the run game that dominated this game. Jahmyr Gibbs got 21 carries. He converted that to 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's a 4.3 yard average. As I said, David Montgomery, 8 rushes, 37 yards. That's a 4.6 yard average, folks. He did have a touchdown also. He also had 36 yards in the receiving game. 37 is what it says there in your box score. 37 yards in the receiving game. Jahmyr Gibbs also with a couple of catches. So they really used the backs and the offensive line. I think they had a real game plan going into the game here. The defense played pretty good. Again, another game with 0 sacks, however. And as we said last week, I'm sorry, I'm not going to let them off the hook. You're not getting home to the quarterback. You did have 6 QB hits, defense. That's great. Anthony Richardson was not comfortable back there. They did force a lot of bad throws. And when you got a guy his size with his mobility, it's hard to get a sack on him. But they were 6 QB hits, and they were in the backfield quite a lot, but 0 sacks. On the other side, the defense did a good job against the Colts. I wouldn't call the Colts a high-powered offense, but they are definitely dangerous. They held AR5, Anthony Richardson, to 11 of 28 passing. That's pretty paltry, folks. That's in the 40% range. For 172 yards and a passer rating of 60.4. Terrible. Anthony Richardson did get 61 yards on the ground, however, on 10 carries. So another problem for the Lions, they continue to let mobile quarterbacks burn them on defense. Jonathan Taylor, their all-world running back, was held in check, 11 carries, 35 yards. In fact, total rushing yards, even with Anthony Richardson having 61, the Lions kept another team under 100 yards, 96 yards rushing for the Colts. Michael Pittman, their wide receiver, 6 catches, 96 yards. And they had some studs on defense, Russ, something that we talked about on Thursday's show. These guys have some great players on defense, like Zaire Franklin, who really showed up. He had 13 tackles. Nick Cross had 14 tackles. And Indianapolis sacked Jared Goff 3 times. So a dominating performance really on both sides of the ball when you look at the box score, because it really wasn't as close as this box score might suggest. A couple of notables on the team stats that I like. On third down, the Detroit Lions were 9 of 15 on third down, while they held Indianapolis to only 3 of 12 on third down. That's winning football right there, folks. Total yards, almost 400 for the Lions, 268 for the Colts. In the red zone, the Lions were 3 for 4, while the Colts were 0 for 2. And we just dominated time of possession once again. 14-minute disparity in time of possession. Lions, 37 minutes, they held the ball, and Indy, 23. I mean, when you've got a high-powered offense like that, the best way to beat them is keep them off the field. And the Lions have been doing that, even though these teams might not be, the Chiefs or the Ravens every week, but they are doing what they're supposed to do. Well, it's something Russ talks about all the time. When you're playing a subpar team, you need to dominate them, not just win. And that's exactly what the Detroit Lions have been doing week over week. 9 in a row now, as you heard the coach say at the beginning of the show, 10-1 on the season. If they can run the table and go 16-1, they will be only the 4th team in NFL history to do so. And that is your tail of the tape.
I love it, Mike. I love it, and I wanted to highlight something like right here. I think that we complement each other in this way. That I want to bring up a different spot. You did say that we have the trouble with the mobile quarterbacks, but I do wanted to point out one thing that like in this first drive that they had, you had that 61 yards right there. The Lions did give up some rushing yards to the quarterback on the first drive. They did from the script. And honestly, it worked so well against the Lions. I don't understand why they went away from it. I thought that they could have just ran power running offense that seemed to be working against us with the option. They just went away from it. They came down, they scored a field goal. But I mean, right here you got Jonathan Taylor with an 8-yard run. And then Anthony Richardson right there. They got the 17-yard run, an 8-yard run. So he got half of his rushing yards on that first drive. And for some reason, the Indianapolis Colts decided to start trying to turn Anthony Richardson into a pocket quarterback, and it just wasn't working out for him. So, I mean, to say that we have trouble with running quarterbacks when a team scores 6 points against us, I mean, that might be a little overstating what Anthony Richardson did to us with 6 points for them, because here's what our defense does. And this is in between the 20s, you get some yards, we're going for interceptions. I understand we take chances, and we weren't getting home, but we were getting close. And there was a couple of those plays, like I'm upset that they didn't show us the replay in the end zone with Levi Onwuzurike knocking the ball out of Richardson's hand and wondering if that was a touchdown, because we were on the opposite side of the field watching the game, and we couldn't see all the way to the other end zone. But they didn't show the replay on there, and they just – was that a strip fumble, or did he actually forward pass it? Did they show that on television?
They showed it over and over, and in the Lions' den, we were going bananas because that was a terrible call. I don't know how they called that.
It was a touchdown, wasn't it?
Well, one thing's for sure. How can it be an incomplete pass when you're throwing it behind the line of scrimmage? You're throwing it backwards, right? He was going to try to throw it forward, but there was a guy there, so he had to adjust, and he threw it literally behind him. That makes it a fumble in the end zone. We recovered. Should have been a touchdown.
Right.
Not just, it shouldn't have been a safety. It should have been a touchdown.
I was standing up on the other side of the field like this. I'm just like, that's a touchdown. That's a touchdown. It looked like a touchdown, and they would not show the replay in the stadium.
Yeah,
because
they've been doing that all year. It seems like the questionable calls, they don't show the replay on it, and some meaningless BS they'll show over and over and over. It's getting ridiculous. I'm starting to believe maybe there is some sort of script in play here because of the way they do that. I mean, that is one thing. I'm not buying into the script thing like a lot of people do. Maybe you can find a referee that's on the take, but there's no way that these players are in on it. They're given everything they have. They may never walk right. They may never have their brain right at the end of their career. So I don't believe they're throwing that away for a few $1,000s at all. However, when you see things like this week after week where they don't show the questionable ones, I mean, we saw a penalty there against Brian Branch in the Tennessee game. They never showed the replay. It ended up being 15 yards. So I still don't know what – actually, it was Amik Robertson. I still don't know what that penalty was to this day. So, that one was a bummer. And thank goodness it didn't affect the outcome of the game.
It didn't. And it really just – like when you look at a 24-6, you're like, that was it was a dominating victory, but it's not as dominating as you wanted it to be, right? And a strip sack fumble, or a fumble in the end zone recovered for a touchdown, making that 31-6 which it should have been. I think that describes the game a lot better, because I'll tell you what, the Lions defense in the red zone is no. I mean, They had one bad drop. He had Cox right in the middle
Is that with an X?
Cox with an X. He had Cox right in the middle of the end zone, and he dropped the ball. Richardson had him, threw the ball. You couldn't ask for any better of a throw. He just dropped it. But the Lions' red zone defense is so tough when they get in there, when the field shrinks down, and you can really let them linebackers run downhill and let those safeties not have to worry about, covering 60 yards behind them. It's a different ball game down there, and it's going to be very hard to score touchdowns against the Lions, and that's what they are majoring in on defense. And when you got an offense like we have in this offense with the offense, you can't score field goals. You're going to have to score touchdowns to keep pace with us. And, once we got out to a lead, I'm not saying we played Marty ball or Caldwell ball, but the offensive play calling was definitely a lot more conservative when we got up like that. And I'm okay with that. He was still throwing the ball, but he wasn't, taking giant shots downfield or anything like that. We were playing to try to keep the lead, get you at arm's distance, keep you a couple scores away. Jake Bates hitting a 56-yard field goal to make it a 3-score game. Jake Bates, the golden leg.
Definitely. Jake Bates continues his hot streak, 14 for 14 now on the season for field goals. Only one missed extra point the entire season. The kid has got ice water in his veins. I have to eat crow on this one. I was not a big Jake Bates supporter like all the villains were, like you were, Russ. But man, he's made a believer out of me, just coming in, driving it right down the middle. That kick would have been good from 66, just to let you know. Oh, Jeremy B in the chat says 16 for 16. Right. I didn't double check that. I'm just going off the count in my head. So 16 for 16, according to Jeremy. I thought it was 14 in a row, but somebody look that up and confirm it.
Yeah, Jeremy B is pretty good about that.
Yeah, he is.
He's been kind of like playing the role of Goose on here, and I appreciate that about Jeremy. Come on, give him some of the. Give him some of that. I'm going to try some of that. That one look good. Look at that. That one worked better. I just want you to know that the skills that don't end. Oh man. It's still got you have to move to the left in order to get out of the way of Montgomery on that one. But I got the right idea. But
you got the right idea. And I'll tell you something. We got some really good comments in here. I love this one from Ken Fisher. How big was Tim Patrick's 4 catches? Huge. Such a great call. Tim Patrick, 4 catches for 55 yards, and they were huge catches, by the way. So that's a great call from Ken. Jeremy says 16 for 16 is confirmed on Jake Bates, Dwayne, as well. Scott Young in the house says, I was amazed over all the penalty calls against the Colts. They're usually against the Lions, right? 4 penalties for the Lions, 10 for the Colts, if I'm not mistaken. That's a pretty good disparity for that. Ken Fisher in the house. Joseph Ostin is in the house, says, no more Vildor. And then Mark in there say they were picking on Vildor all game. Yeah, that's true, man. Terrion Arnold out of this game. Kendall Vildor had to start. They put Ennis Rakestraw on IR. There was a lot of speculation in the back chat whether or not Rakestraw is really hurt. Is he really hurt, or is this a slick move where they put him on IR to make a roster spot so they could bring up the extra linebacker that they needed? Very interesting. Maybe Rakestraw is just so raw that he's just not ready to go out there and be what Lions fans want him to be. And with Terrion Arnold out, it meant Kendall Vildor had to start. This is concerning for me because he was getting cooked all game. Normally, what they like about Vildor, and what I've always liked about Vildor, is he's a good tackler. Yesterday, he missed some key tackles, which turned to big gains for the Colts. So definitely a weak spot there for the Lions. They were picking on Kendall Vildor. If he stays in the starting lineup, expect other teams to do the same.
Yeah, and that's what they should do. I mean, the thing is if you can find a weakness, and Kendall Vildor isn't that, and Kendall Vildor, gosh, he was right there on a couple of those, and it's just like he's just not as good as those other guys. But one thing that was encouraging, and I don't know, is that Emmanuel Mosley played a few special team snaps in this game. Mosley did play the game, and he finished the game. Not on the injury report. He made it. He made it through an entire game. I don't know. I think that he might have played like 5 or 6 special team snaps. They did not have him out there on any defensive snaps, and they are very smartly bringing him along very, very slow. But I believe that this asset is going to pay its dividends.
That's such a good call out, Russ. I mean, there was a game. If the human body had 3 ACLs, he probably would have tore one yesterday. But good congratulations to Emmanuel Mosley for making it through a whole NFL game for the first time in over 2 years.
Right.
Man, unbelievable. And hey, man, you got to give kudos to the Lions for sticking with a guy, right? They don't just give up and throw him on the trash heap like someone. I mean, that says a lot to these players. Like he gives Za'Darius Smith the day off when he comes to the team because it was his bye week. I mean, those little things make other players want to come play here. And kudos to Emmanuel Mosley for getting back out there. I think everyone is rooting for Emmanuel Mosley.
Well, for sure. And how can you not root for Emmanuel Mosley? Because like most people did throw him on a trash heap. Oh, he's injury prone. I mean, every time I bring him up, somebody's got something negative, and I get it. But like injury prone to me, let me help some people out with this, because you can call him injury prone, and I'm going to say, okay, that's cool. That's fair, because he hasn't played, availability. The best ability is availability. But his first injury was a left ACL. He was coming back from that. He comes back. He tears his other one. Completely separate injury. Doesn't mean that the first one was not there. He injures the second one. Comes back from that. Tears his pec. 3 completely separate injuries that have nothing to do with each other. Now, like somebody like Davenport, well, he's had this lingering ankle thing for his entire career. He's missed half of the games due to pretty much the same type of injury. And then he's had a couple of torn pecs. He's got 2 things that keep happening. To me, a Davenport is more injury prone than Emmanuel Mosley. Emmanuel Mosley is just like the unluckiest guy on planet Earth. The next thing you're going to tell me he's going to like tear a tricep or, he's going to like do something to his neck or something. Like, it's like, I'm running out of body parts here. It's like, but it's not the same thing. And he's fully recovering. Those ACLs ain't going nowhere now. Not with this technology.
Mm-hmm.
They bring them back stronger now. It doesn't end your career like it did back in the day. 20 years ago, ACL, you're done. That was a career ender 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yeah, 18 months, like people coming back after 18 months, 2 year was the recovery time once there was a recovery time. So the technology on this, and you can probably thank the NFL for it just because they've had to. They want their players to be healthy. Sports medicine has taken like knee area technology to a new level, like because they want to protect these players and get them back out on the field playing football. And then they build these things stronger. When Aiden Hutchinson comes back, they're doing like the if you remember $6 Million Man from back in the day. This guy's they rebuilt his leg.
We can rebuild him.
Technology.
We have the technology.
Oh, but that's good stuff, man. But 10-1, back-to-back 10-1, 10-win seasons for, we're part of history, Mike.
History.
an
It's a
all-time
golden
high.
age of Lions football. We'll be talking about that. That'll be one of my topics tonight on the Main Event Football Show, how this is a golden age of Lions football. I invite everyone to join us tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time as we go over this victory, a few points that we're not talking about today, and then we're going to look ahead to the Thursday Thanksgiving game against the Chicago Bears. Speaking of the Chicago Bears, it's another week where the Lions win. We're celebrating a victory Monday, but at the same time, the Packers and the Vikings also win, keeping pace with the Campbells, keeping up with the Campbells. They're keeping up with us. They are not letting us extend that gap. As we win 9 in a row, we still can't gain a gain in the win column on our division opponents because they keep winning. Bear Down Mike is in the chat today. Mike, I feel sorry for you. He says, nice win, guys. Thank you, Bear Down Mike. What an exciting finish to the game last night. The Chicago Bears score 11 points in 22 seconds, 11 points in 22 seconds, only to lose in overtime to Darnold Schwarzenegger in overtime. They get their heart ripped out again. But man, was that exciting. That was some of the most exciting football I ever seen. There he is. And he's probably here to gloat.
You think Donald Schwarzenegger is afraid of bears? Donald Schwarzenegger eats bears for breakfast. Come on, you can take my hand. Yeah, at the end of the game, you can have me get back in the pocket and I can throw touchdown passes. Come on, take my hand, Minneapolis. Get on my back. You can do it. Come on. Try hard.
And that's it.
We're coming to get you, Detroit Lions.
Sam
Donald Schwarzenegger. He's come. I'll be back.
Sam Darnold did get everyone to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
And got him the win and ripped the Bears' soul out yet again. These poor Bears and their fans getting beaten in bad ways week after week. I mean, it's not just go in there and get beat. It's got to be some heartbreaker to beat them. One good thing, though, is they did cover the spread, and Russ and I both picked them to do so. So congratulations. By a half a point, by the way. I will say we'll take it. So Bear Down Mike says, nice win, guys. Thank you, Bear Down. Bear Down Mike also says, Bears lose 2 winnable games. Wonder how our game is going to go Thursday. And then Henry Gray answers that for you and says, that's another loss, Bear Down. That's how that's going to go for you.
Hey, Darnold Schwarzenegger, why do you think what's the main reason that the Bears are doing so bad right now? It's not a tumor.
Yeah, Caleb Williams sent some passes over receivers' heads yesterday in the end. That some shots he should have definitely hit. But man, I can't discredit that kid at all. I think he's got what it takes to make it in this league. He's got all the skill set. He seems to be a competitor, which was something that I was questionable about him. So I think you're going to be okay, Bear Down Mike. I think you've got a good team developing there in Chicago. It just takes some time. Look out for the Bears in the future, but this year is a wash for you. It's looking like you still got to play the Packers again. You still got to play Detroit twice. It's going to get really tough for you moving down the road here. You lost to New England. You lost some games you absolutely should have won this year. Next week, Thursday, you're coming into Ford Field for Thanksgiving. It's going to be a tough holiday, I believe.
Yeah, you know what? But I don't for some reason it's like I don't care what the Bears are doing. That like the Bears Lions is always like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the records are. It doesn't matter anything. Or I just have a feeling in this one right here. Like if we have a giant spread, they're picking us to win by 10 or something like that. I might have to go against my own, like just to give good information out to the bettors. I might have to go against my grain and pick the Bears to be close in this game because they play us tough, man. Their defense always gives our offense fits. They get in there and if Jared Goff can get out of this game on Thursday without turning the ball over, because that's one thing that the Bears can do to the Lions in both games last year. They were able to force turnovers, whether it be fumbles. I mean, we need to protect the football. Like, the thing is, like, it doesn't matter how bad the Bears are. If you play defense, you can be in any football game, and I'm not going to undersell the Bears for this week. I just won't. I think we're going to win the game. I really do, because our guys are still pissed off that, you know, they came into our house on Thanksgiving and, you know, they beat our ass.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Lions have not won on Thanksgiving. You ready, folks? Since 2016.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Talk about it.
We got to get off the schneid. Got to get off the schneid this week. Mark G in the comments says teams always play Lions tough on Thanksgiving. Right.
Yes.
I don't know why, but Scott Joseph does not agree with you at all. He says, I think the Lions win easy. Not sure what Russell is drinking. Well, Russell's not drinking anything there, Joseph. Russell's just a realist. He knows this is the NFL. And the Bears are tough. They beat us once last year. And we had to roll from behind and score 12 points in 2 minutes or 3 minutes or something to come from behind and beat them in our own house. So styles make fights. And in football games, matchups are key. Okay. And Bears just match up well against us. They did with Justin Fields for sure. With Caleb Williams, it's yet to be determined how he will react and how the Lions will react to a guy like him with his skill set, which is completely different than Justin Fields. So it will be interesting for sure. Chata Ortega in the house says Lions 27, Bears 23. So only a 4-point victory. I have not looked at the line yet, but we will have that tonight. On the
it's a victory, though. Right?
What's
there.
that?
Like that, but the main thing is right there. It's like, I don't know what Russ is drinking. We're gonna just because I won't say that we're gonna steamroll these guys. 4 points is still a victory. I don't care how the victories come. I mean, You get a victory just because I think they're gonna play close. But by the way, if you bet using Russell Wayne picks, then you win money. That's right. That's the thing. So if you want to win money, you should listen to the things that I say. If you don't want to win money and, you know, drink your Homer Kool-Aid, then go ahead and bet. And I could be wrong, because honestly, do you think that there's a possibility that David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs might run all over the Bears? Yeah, I think our offense might score 40 points against them and just run it up.
Mm-hmm. Chad says the opening line for Thanksgiving right now is Lions by 10.5. So thanks for that call out, Chad.
I would take the Bears and the points on that. If that's what it's going to be when we do that, you know, when we do our lock picks on Thursday, brought to you by Full Circle Realty.
Yeah, now, be sure to tune in Thursday to this very program where we will do our predictions. This week, there were only 12 games on the slate. Russell and I both picked 6 games correctly, so we only batted 50% this week. There is a game tonight, which is the Baltimore Ravens at the Los Angeles Chargers, the Harbaugh Bowl. We will pick that game tonight on the Main Event Football Show. Be sure to show up tonight at 7 p.m. to get our pick to see who is going to break this tie for this week. I like this call by Henry Gray in response to me saying we haven't won on Thanksgiving since 16. We've been putting an end to all of our bad streaks. Thus, Thanksgiving game curse is next. Such a good call. We hadn't beaten Seattle in 10 tries, beat them. Hadn't beaten the Cowboys in 6 tries, beat them. We haven't won a game that Russell Wayne goes to. We ended that streak yesterday. So I love that call by Henry Gray.
Hallelujah.
Time now for our paid read. Hey, this show is brought to you by Full Circle Realty and agent Dana Robinson. Look, folks, if you are buying or selling a house anywhere in the state of Michigan, call Dana today. If you want someone who works for you, someone who never gives up, Dana Robinson should be your realtor. Call Dana today at Full Circle Realty. That's 810-422-3328. Again, 810-422-3328. Agent Dana Robinson, Full Circle Realty. She can't wait to get working for you. So one good call out by Ken Fisher. Harbaugh will win tonight. Yeah, I hope it's a tie.
The Harbaugh on Victory Monday, and then you're going to talk about it more tonight on your show, and you always have some, you always throw some sort of curveball that's a little bit out of the ordinary, and I like that about your show. I like producing your show and being a fly on the wall in the background, and listening to your mind ramble off without my dumb ass interrupting you all the time. Oh my gosh, but it felt really, really good to get that victory. I am not looking past these Chicago Bears though. That I was watching Caleb Williams in there, but here's the thing that I love about the Lions that I never knew about a winning team because I've never really followed a winning team in my life. When you get the winning team mentality, you can play teams. Most of these teams play tight for a while, right? And there's just a couple of these heater moment plays that are like very high stress. A lot of stakes are on the line in those plays, and that's where I think that the Lions are better than everybody. There's a bunch of hey, dodge, duck, parry, swing, miss, pow, but there's a couple of moments, probably 3 or 4 moments in every game where there's like this real high intense, I need to get there and you need to stop me from getting there, or vice versa, and needs to happen, and the Wills win. And I think that Penei Sewell, Frank Ragnow, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Gibbs, like in offensive moments, that they're better than anybody in the league. In those moments, they got even blood level. We're all like, oh, what's gonna happen? We would shit our pants on the field in a moment like that. But these guys are like, like Joe Montana pointing at John Candy in the fucking Super Bowl. Like, yeah, check it out. Like in the biggest moment of the game, he's just cool. Our whole offense is that. All of those guys. That's why they go for it on 4th and 1 when the game's on the line. It's over for you. It's like that's where I think champions are built, not on 98% of the game, on the 2%, or the 1%. It might even be 1% of the game. You could probably break it down. What is 3 plays? How many plays are run in a game? Probably over 100 plays. Yeah. So you're talking 2 or 3 plays, 1%. That decides the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest is dodge, duck, parry.
Scott Young talking about that Eagles win last night over the Rams. Definitely an impressive win. Saquon Barkley, what a beast. Mm-hmm. These two teams, Philadelphia, who's won now 7 in a row, I believe, 6 in a row. These two teams, Detroit and Philadelphia, seem to be on a collision course for the NFC title game. Let's hope that game is in Ford Field, because this team looks dangerous up and down the roster. They are loaded. Their 2 draft picks. They also drafted 2 corners in the draft like the Lions. Their 2 corners definitely outplaying the Lions' 2 corners right now. They got incrementally better in the offseason, and they are starting to gel. Nick Sirianni is been on the hot seat. He looks like he's pulling himself off the hot seat with the way this team is playing. They beat a good Rams team on the road. They had to go all the way across the country to do it, and they won convincingly. It was 37-20 or something, but it wasn't even that close. The Eagles were just dominating that team, and they are scary. They are really starting to put it together. But for the Lions or for the Eagles, one injury could be the end of it, right? One injury on our side, one injury on their side could be the end of this dominant run that these two teams are both having. But I love the call out.
Well, this is Victory Monday on the Lion Villain Report. And I'm your host, Russell Wayne. You can join me Monday through Saturday at 10 a.m. We're talking football. We're talking, I'm glad that we've been able to talk winning football for the last 9 weeks in a row. I mean, I don't even know. It's usually we're debating different things, but now I'm on a thought process of like where I'm just kind of like sitting back and really just trying to take it in. I want to take it in just in case it is a special year that they do special things. I mean, I just don't see a team beating this team when it matters. And I'm not saying we're going to go undefeated for the rest of the season, and just keep winning games. I'm sure that we're going to get a hiccup, and I'm really scared of these next, 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot to ask of a team to play 3 games in what is that? 14 days or something like that.
Well, we play this Thursday, of course, on Thanksgiving. Then we play 1 week later on Thanksgiving.
Right. So that's 7 days.
We play 2 Thursdays in a row. So you're not going to get that. You're going to get the short week this week against the Bears. But then you get a full 7 before you play the Packers on Thursday Night Football. So we got 2 Thursday games in a row.
Right, and we just played a game, so there's 3 days or 4 days in between that,
right,
and then we got 2 games, so that will be 3 games in 14 days,
right?
And we're 1-0 in that stretch. This is a really tough stretch because this isn't just games; these are division games, and essentially the Chicago Bears are going to be fighting for their playoff lives. Like, I know that we look at them and go, oh, it's just the Bears are going to be bearing it out, whatever. But they're in their locker room going right now being like, look, it's all or nothing right here. We have to beat these Lions because if we want any chance, like they may be eliminated from the playoff contention type of scenario right here. So, and we're on a high streak. So I know our guys are going to be ready. I know Dan Campbell. He's going to be in there preaching 1-0, 6 times. It's just 1-0. We just got to go 1-0 this week. That's it.
Good call out here by Steve, our resident Packer fan. Green Bay also has back-to-back Thursday night games. They also play on Thanksgiving and then play the Lions on Thursday. That's a great call. That's something I hadn't thought of, Steve. Great call out.
So what you're saying, Steve, is they did the entire NFC North dirty. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, they doing the NFC North dirty right in the middle of the season, trying to get all our players injured.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Ken
like
Fisher in the comments. How many quarters have the Lions not given up a TD? Is it 6 now? No, Ken, it's 10. It's now 10 quarters in a row. The Lions have not given up a touchdown. It was 6 going into the game. That's 4 quarters. They didn't give it up. Now it's 10. That's a very impressive streak.
By the way, one of the games we had to bring in the Lions janitor to play linebacker, and they still stopped them from scoring touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. 10 quarters. That's very impressive.
I mean,
Aaron
losing
Glenn.
Alex Anzalone, Barnes, Hutchinson. I mean, all of these, Terrion Arnold. We're just like, whatever. No. Like, how about no?
And you can't really understate what a great job Aaron Glenn is doing. That's a total testament to him. And I love that picture of him. That one right there, sitting on the bench. We were in the Lions Den, and I was going around, caption this. And people were coming up with great little captions. This is the look you have when you know you're going to be a head coach next year, things like that. But then you put it up on the page, chilling like a villain. That's it right there.
That's chilling like a villain, man. You need to get that shirt in your store, man.
Yeah,
chilling like a villain.
Chilling like a villain.
Hell yeah! And as you can see, Dana's beautiful head is covering the Colts score. Because we didn't even have to buy Indianapolis. We just went to their house and just took it over. I'm telling you, man, that was something else. Going to that, I've never seen anything like it, Mike. When I took that video that has over 100,000 views right now, which is really awesome. But when I took that video, it was just surreal. And then the Jared Goff chants start, and it's just like, gosh, I'm in this section where, I mean, there's probably 5,000 people in this nosebleed section that we were in, and there was just one little Colt fan that was like in the middle of like 500 raging, roaring Lion fans. Like, we started a couple of them Jared Goff chants because I think that we had all the drunk people that wanted to get some, tickets. We had up there, like, nosebleed, and it was like at a pitch too. So it's like you almost felt like if you're too drunk, you might fall off the stadium. But they were fired up. Like, I mean, if you can think of, maybe 1,000 people that are more intense than I am, and I'm pretty intense when I go to these games, and we were all fired up. And this poor little Colt fan's just like checking his fantasy football team, hoping that nobody is looking at him. It was surreal, man. It was more than 50%. More than 50%. We took that stadium over. It was over half full of Lions fans. I might even say 60 or 70%.
Wow. Pat McAfee said earlier this week, there's no way Lions are going to take over the Indy Stadium. But they did.
I was wondering if they had any fans. Like, I mean, I swear to God, I'm walking through the thing, and it's like, if I saw a Colts jersey, I had to check and make sure they didn't have a badge and they didn't work there, because I wasn't sure if there were actually any fans right there. And there were some fans that came up to us and and said, "Man, you guys are really good," but hope you guys go far. Nobody was an asshole to us or anything. There wasn't anybody in a bad. Well, we outnumbered them, so I don't think they would.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So Russell Wade says the only fans that were there for the Colts are the ones that worked at the stadium. I love
they were getting paid by the stadium. They were trying to sell us beer. We're getting our ass kicked. We might as well get their money. Oh man, capitalism.
Did you guys do an Airbnb or just a hotel room?
We did an awful Airbnb.
It was awful?
Airbnb, awful. It had holes in the floor, cobwebs. It was like we took pictures of the whole thing. It was fun though. We're fantasy football guys. Like, we didn't give a shit. We'd sleep on the floor. We were like, whatever.
Wow. I got to jump off here tonight. I got to jump off here, guys. But thanks for having me on. Don't forget tonight, the Main Event Football Show at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And don't forget, I'm always telling you to go to the Villain Squad, follow the Villain Squad, follow us on YouTube, on our Facebook. But you know what? Follow me at Main Event Mike. Needs to get some followers here, okay? At Main Event Mike. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. I got my own stuff. We're going to be rolling for 2025. A bunch of different kind of content coming out at the Main Event Mike page. So be sure to follow me too. Thank you, Russell. Thank you, Villains. I'll see you all tonight at 7 p.m. Peace out.
That's right. That is Main Event Mike. And you can catch him tonight. I mean, he does a Monday night review. He's been doing a Monday night review on this network. We used to have a network called the Main Event Network when we were called the Main Event Football Show, and that's all we were. We started out with Main Event Mike doing the Main Event Football Show, and that's been every Monday since 2021. Yeah. we went through the 10-1. That's not easy. That is not easy doing shows at 10-1, but we were here every week. It happens. But here it is, the Main Event Football Show on the Villain Squad Facebook page, on the Villain Squad YouTube page. Get some of that music. I like that. I want to thank everybody for popping on here. What do we got in the comments, man? I've been awful for you guys. I should spend a little bit of time with you guys on the comments right here. Let me get a different background. There, that one. I like that one. We're the UDFA of sports podcasting. There's our YouTube page at Lionsville Squad. You subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can say, hey, I took care of that thing for you. Just like Pete the cat. Pete the cat. Main Event Football Show is tonight. That's right. But what do we got in? Kneecaps. Not 1 in 3 straight second halves. That's unheard of. Yeah. They sent a local news cameraman to the third balcony, and it was over 75% Lions fans up there. Why did you go to the Bates Motel? Yeah, what that part of it, I don't care. We just needed a place to sleep. We got there Saturday night. We went to an Applebee's in Indy, and then slept, and then got up, got some breakfast, walked around, took some pictures next to the Peyton Manning statue. And Peyton Manning will never forget. We will never forget what you've done for us, Peyton Manning. Breaking the curse of Bobby Lane with a tub of whiskey and some choice words. Good to see you in here, Chad. Good to see you in here, J Mommy. Paul Jones, what's up? We're talking about these 10 quarters that the Lions haven't given up a touchdown. It's a bend but don't break philosophy. I mean, like, when you look at the numbers, when you're one of those asshats that just look at the box score and don't watch the games, you look at yards. You're looking at the box score and you're trying to poke holes in something. But here's the bottom line: is the Lions, they give up yards between the 20s. They do. But it's like a fortress once you get inside the red zone against this defense. You got two of the best safeties in the league in Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph. And when you back those guys up to where they don't have to play the 30 yards behind them, this is a good red zone defense. And we force field goals. We force field goals. Our defense, that's what we specialize in. We're going to force you into field goals. Josh Jacobs will score on the Lions. How'd that work out for you, Steve? How'd that work out for you? I mean, at this point, you typing that, I look at it and it's just words. It's just words. You got to prove that. You got to prove that. I mean, not only did we stop him, we stopped your whole offense, and we really just dump trucked your team. I mean, it was really almost we were nice to you because we didn't want Xavier McKinney to cry. We didn't want him to cry like Quay Walker did. So since we didn't want Xavier McKinney to cry because we were blowing you out too much, they decided that when Montgomery ran for that first down, instead of scoring a touchdown and making it 31-14, that he would just slide, and then we would kneel for the rest of the game. Draw 2 more minutes off the clock. Your team wasn't 24-14. Well, I don't even know what the final score of that game was. What was it? What was the final score of that Green Bay game where we put the beat down on you? I think it was 10. I think it was 24-14. Is that what it was? Oh, I'm doing awful at finding it. Come on, meow. Is my computer being bad? out there. Anyway, bro, that game was weeks ago. This is now and up and coming. Yeah, and we added Zadarius Smith, and our team doesn't allow touchdowns. I mean, you said that was weeks ago. God, you Packer fans don't like to bring up history unless it benefits you, huh? I mean, the short-term history is this team right here, right now, is better than the Green Bay Packers, and they proved it by beating them. Viking fan, you're the same way. I don't care if you're right on our heels. We have victories over both your teams. The best you can do is split with us. And then where are we at, really? No, but the Lions have a good team. And they're going to keep on keeping on, running the football. You don't think that Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery are going to run all over that Packer defense? Swiss cheese when we get to run the football on them. It's Swiss cheese. We can wear the Swiss cheese heads. No, the Lions are getting good wins. And, you know, if a team tries to take away one part of what the Lions do, then they can attack them in a different way. It was cool watching the game from that perspective and watching the Lions offense be able to work against their defense, because the Indianapolis Colts have pretty good defense. Honestly, I think that their defense is pretty good. Their linebackers play pretty well. And you could really just dictate when they were putting that safety up in the box. The Lions were hitting those second-level passes. That's where they were hitting Tim Patrick. They were hitting these players over in that. You know, Jamison Williams was getting hit in that slot, and then they'd have to back the safety up, and we were up so high that we would see it. You could see the whole lineup of the whole team where they had one high safety. And they would throw on that second intermediate, like 10-yard ins and outs by Jamison or Tim Patrick, and they were hitting it all day long. And then when they would sneak those guys back, when they would have two back safeties, they'd run on it. And they were getting chunks. You know, Jahmyr Gibbs, 4.3 yards a carry, had 21 carries. David Montgomery, you're averaging 4.5 yards a carry against good run defense. I have no worries. Run game travels. And now the Lions are 6-0 on the road. Got 2 more road games left. You got to go to Soldier Field, like 3 weeks. And then San Francisco on the road. Lions got a couple tough games left. Green Bay is tough. And you know they're going to bring it. You know Green Bay is going to bring it. So, like, Green Bay is one of those teams that won't give up. That's one of the things. Like, I'll give kudos to the Indianapolis Colts. Is they're well coached, and they didn't give up. They didn't show a demeanor. We didn't put them around. We did get the kneel down victory, but their team didn't give up. But I bet in the back of my head that he thinks that Caleb Williams is the next Dan Marino. No, I don't think that. I don't think that at all. I think that I think that the Chicago Bears play defense, and if they could coach up or somehow have an average quarterback, they should be able to win a football game. But I don't think. I was talking earlier, and I'll keep you since my name is Tussle. Steve's in here calling me Tussle. No, but Caleb Williams and the Bears don't have what I was talking about earlier. Like, I really do believe that the most NFL games, especially the ones that are closely contested, are decided by that 1% of plays. Those high, intense moments, the tide turning, I need to get there and you need to stop me from getting there, vice versa. And there's that 1%, that's like 3, maybe 4 plays a game that really decide everything. And the players and the team that have the best players that play the best in those moments are the ones that win. The Bears don't have players like that want to win that big game. They fold in those moments. That's their problem. It's not that Caleb Williams isn't great. He probably has the talent to be the next great Dan Marino. But you got to get that clutch gene going in those big moments. You got to be able to make that big play. And they don't have that like the Lions have that. And the Packers don't have that like the Lions have that. Lions can close you out, or they can win in that close game. They can beat you with special teams. They can beat you with Jared Goff. They can beat you with Amon-Ra St. Brown. They can beat you with the run game. You know, Josh Jacobs leading the league in yards. Congratulations. Lions are okay with giving up yards in between the 20s. And then they tighten up and they don't let you score touchdowns. That's what they do. Honestly, I think that where Steve, if I'm looking it through a Packer eye right here and I'm looking at the Lions team honestly and objectively, where I want to attack them is not with Josh Jacobs. The Lions stop the run. They just do. They do stop the run. And don't give me that he did well in the first half against the Lions. He did. He did well against the first half of the Lions, but then the Lions got out to a lead and then you couldn't stay with it. That's what the Lions do, is they take you out of your game. But if the Packers are going to have a chance, it's going to be through the Christian Watson and Jaden Reed, and they're going to beat them over the top and score touchdowns on long touchdowns. Get them on the big play. That's how you get the Lions. You got to get them on the big play. Because once you get inside the 20-yard line, it's clamps. That just is what it is. And you can't type your way out of that, Steve. Not even the Packers are going to score touchdowns in the red zone. I think our defensive line wins against your offensive line. I think DJ Reader, Josh Pascal, Ali McNeil, and Sedarius Smith. Now we're run the run wreckers. The announcers for the Bears game was struggling to say something nice about the Ace Tone kid. Okay. And Gibbs second in TDs and Monty sixth. We could do this too. Yeah, the Lions have the best run game in the league. Great show, but Steve's Homer show. Hey, you know what? When we get the opposing teams on here, Jeremy, I want them to scream it out loud and proud. This is hilarious. Let me show you where Broski is. Let me show you where he is. In the arms of the air. There they are. The top reasons to ghost a villain. I don't want to be around anymore. I'm sick of you talking about my team. I'm allowed to talk trash about your team, but you can't talk trash about my team. I don't like it. It hurts my feelings. It hurts my feelings. That's the reason. I'm not here because I want to go somewhere and cry. That's why. That's where Broski is. I have to assume that they're crying. Because the thing is, the thing that's funny about the trash talkers is like, you know, I have to be here every day because I made a commitment to be here every day, regardless. So like when we lose, I have to be here. When we win, I get to talk my smack, you know, and you can talk some smack about me and stay on here. Those ones that have ghosted the villain because of their feelings, that's fine. You can do that. You can blame me. You can call me a butthole. You can say you just went to a different show because they're better, and they probably are. We're not the best show. We know we're not the best show. I'm not trying to be the best show. I'm just trying to have some fun with this Lions football team. And we're the UDFA of sports podcasting. We may not even be the top 20 in podcasting. But you support the UDFA of podcasting, the sports podcasting, by hitting that like button, hitting that share button, commenting and enjoying the conversation. You know, Jeremy Ballrick's in here constantly asking questions and bringing up good football. Steve says, you ready for the WWE War Games? Are you kidding me? Are you trying to switch my topics up? I love WWE. I love the War Games. I got some drops in here. What do I? That's right. Yeah, you got the tribal chief. Who's the real tribal chief? Is it Solo Sikoa with the best entrance music in the game? Or is it Roman Reigns, the tribal chief? And I love the Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. I love that as an angle on there. Yes, I am definitely excited for some War Games. Okay, if you say so. Harpozo, Aline played lights out. Yes, I can't wait to get to the PFF scores for tomorrow. And I'm hoping that you guys jump on here for PFF Tuesday tomorrow. And we can go over all the nerdy scores. That's what I like. I want to go over all the nerdy scores, and I am betting you that Aleem is going to play that way because watching that game, he was a force in the middle. It's like they were wrecking everything. They were pushing the pocket up with him and DJ Reader. I think that's starting to formulate into something really special. They make things tough and disrupt. And I think that in this game coming up with the Bears, it's like Caleb Williams is a lot different than Justin Fields, even though it seems like they have like the same, type of effect on a game. He's a better thrower than Justin Fields for sure, but the Lions were always good at getting pressure in, and I don't think that Caleb Williams is as good at escapability or is as athletic and powerful as Justin Fields as a runner. So if Aleem and DJ Reader can push the pocket and give them problems in the middle, it might be a long day for the Bears, and I might eat my words and the Lions might blow them out by more than that. Broski is not far away. Have a blessed day, everyone. Bless you. I appreciate that. God bless you too. Fifth ranked show out. Flint Town. Yeah, I don't care about rankings. I just care about getting better and being there in the grind and getting better every day. You know, I mean, I've spent my whole life as an entertainer in music, you know, for 20 years on tour and playing at all kinds of different venues, mostly bars, but learning something and just honing your craft, getting a little bit better every day. You know, that's why I like coming on here every day. Not only I get to talk to you, but I get to hone my craft, trying to get better at popping up graphics and doing all making the show interactive. It's fun for me. I don't know if you guys enjoy it, but it's cool. Steve says, is there a Michigan-Ohio State bet between me and Mike? Yes, Mike and I, we got to talk about that this week. We got lost in the shuffle of all this Detroit Lions winning that we forgot. I don't think Mike wants to bet. But I think that he'll own it. But you know what? What can I say? Michigan has owned that rivalry for the last 3 years. And there's something that's powerful. And, you know, when Ohio State owned that rivalry for so many years where Michigan would get one every once in a while, it was like, it's hard as an 18-year-old kid to go into an environment where none of, not the juniors, not the sophomores, not the seniors, nobody knew what it was like to beat Ohio State. So to turn that around the way that Harbaugh did and bring the winning culture back to Michigan was important. And now those roles are reversed. Now it's Ohio State that's lost 3 in a row. So now you have an entire class, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, none of them, nobody in the room, not a person in the spot. Nobody knows what it's like, maybe a 5th-year senior. So that's tough. So in order to turn that around, now Ohio State has the better team, but there needs to be a culture of winning. And there's a whole bunch of Michigan players that know what it's like to beat Ohio State. So that's my answer to that. I think Mike will end up doing that. We usually bet wearing gear. Like I have to wear Michigan gear if Michigan wins, and he has to wear Ohio State gear if they win. So it is what it is. J-Mo and Patrick, love them. J-Mo and Patrick had great catches. I'm looking at these stats right here. Jamison, 5 catches for 64 yards. I'm going to get this a comment. 5 catches for 64 yards. And Tim Patrick, 4 catches for 55 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 6 catches for 62 yards. Oh, show that to you guys. And those right in the middle of that field, you know. And when they catch the ball, you get good blocking downfield. And all 3 of those guys, Jamison, Amon-Ra, and Tim Patrick, are all great blockers out on the perimeter. A lot of time when you see those explosive runs, those 20 pluses, is because you get good blocking out there. That's a great call by you. J-Mo and Patrick having serious blocks. Harpozo said double teaming Aline big time. And yeah, and then DJ Reader was creating problems. Yeah, Dayton family is from Flint. Yep. A couple of those guys used to come out to my local shows over there at Jester's. Free shout out right there. Richfield Center Road in Flint. Right there. This show is brought to you by Full Circle Real Estate Group. You can get a hold of Dana Robinson. She'll take care of she'll answer all of your questions. She makes the buying house process runs so smooth. Get a hold of her, 810-422-3328. That's 810-422-3328. Boom. So I'm about ready to turn into a pumpkin right here. So it's Victory Monday, but we're not going to go too far for too long. And this is the Lion Villain Report. And you can join me Monday through Saturday at 10 a.m. And we're going to have the Full Circle Real Estate Group with us all week long, all through the game. We get to do a Thursday Thanksgiving pre-show while all the turkey's cooking, while all the smells are going through the house. We'll do a little Villain Report pre-game show at 10 a.m. Getting ready for that Lions versus Bears. Oh my. Lions versus the Bears. You can join us tonight for the Main Event Football Show. Get the Monday Night Review tonight at 7 p.m. on the Lions Villain Squad Facebook page. Approaching 60,000. Hit that follow button. Help us out. Hit that like button. Help us out.
Why have billions when you can have thousands?
We are live in the Detroit Lions News Podcast. Every day, we get this stream shared right into the JC Sports Network and Joe Chat and his Twitter feed. We are on YouTube at Lions Villain Squad. Thank you for those who subscribe to get notified. Now, if you want to be guilty by association, you want to partner with the Villain Squad, like the Full Circle Real Estate Group, you can get a hold of Main Event Mike at 810-620-2167, and you too can be guilty by association, like our sponsors. It's faith, family, and then football. In that order, we use football to spend time with our families. We use football to create memories. We don't let football use us. And I'm going to take off out here. And let's say the blessing over your life. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again. In Jesus' name, amen. You guys have a great Monday. Join us tonight for the Main Event Football Show. God bless. Talk to you soon.
Your opportunity. Hey, yo, the lies told that you never make it. Hopeless. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose what I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we winning it maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision and pay me, it's never the sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity. Your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.